Hi, this is Dr. L, and we're going to talk about ionic bonds. Ionic bonds are chemical bonds formed by strong electrostatic interactions between ions, which are formed when electrons are transferred between atoms. So first of all, what's an ion, and what does it have to do with electronegativity? I defined electronegativity in another video. It's the tendency of an atom to gain or lose an electron. Different atoms have different electronegativities. This is a concept explained/discovered by Linus Pauling. Let's look at sodium, and let's think about sodium's tendencies. So sodium has one valence electron in the third orbital outwards from the nucleus. It has a strong tendency to lose or give up this electron. When sodium gives, in other words, it has a very weak electronegativity. When sodium gives up that electron, when it loses an electron, it becomes positively charged, which is referred to as being an ion. A positively charged ion is a cation. A negatively charged ion is an anion. So when an atom loses an electron or gains an electron, and I don't mean sharing, I mean completely loses or completely gains, then it changes its charge. It'll become positive, which is a cation, or negative, which is an anion. So this isn't the sharing of electrons like in covalent bonding. This is like giving up or gaining an electron. A little more drastic. So here's sodium again. And then down here we have chloride, a chlorine atom, which is becoming chloride, which is the negative anion of chlorine. And so what's happening is the sodium, if you park sodium right beside chlorine, sodium has low electronegativity. Chlorine has very high electronegativity. So this is really greedy. It wants one more electron so that it can fill that third outer shell. This one is happy to give up one electron because it doesn't have this one lonely valence electron in its outer orbital. And so the electron will be transferred from sodium to chlorine, making a sodium cation and a chloride anion, positive and negative. Strong positive, strong negative. The two are electrically attracted. That's an electrostatic interaction, and it's a very strong bond called an ionic bond. And what we see in these substances that tend to do this is that they'll bond together, many of them, to form a crystal, which is referred to as a salt or a compound. And that's common table salt. That's its structure. Salts dissolve in water, as we all know. So there's salt, sodium chloride, and water, and we know a moment later it will dissolve. Here are all of the sodium and the chloride ions ionically bonded together. And what happens, and that's in their solid dry state, no water around. When that gets dropped into a water solution, what ends up happening is water has those areas of partial charge that I described in another video. And then the ions are fully charged. And so we get a lot of electrostatic or electrical interactions because there's a lot of charge, a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. And what will happen is the water will then sort of pull apart all of these ions, which is dissolving them into solution. And that's all I'm going to say about ionic bonding.